Next year became kind of this space where I was really seeking help because I was seeking answers and I actually couldn't get them. So for the better part of like fall of 22 into 23, I had numerous doctor's appointments. I saw every doctor under the sun seeking answers as to why my body was having not only migraine episodes at this point, but really intense sensations of like heart fluctuations, feeling like I was going to pass out, being unable to sustain like regular movements, like walking down the block for more than a block. I would feel like my legs were going to give out. And this was really important because I was learning how to decipher the difference between feeling anxious and having an anxious response in the body. And I just remember this time being a space where I would ask doctors, what is it? And they didn't know. And every doctor would tell me, your scans are fine, your blood work is fine, your blood pressure is fine, your blood sugar is fine, everything is objectively fine, you're just anxious. And my frustration with this forced me to turn inward. It forced me to begin to learn how to heal myself. And everything that I did, I want to preface this by saying, I am not a doctor. There is not an ounce of medical advice in this, okay? Everything that I learned how to do, I did by trial and error with myself. So please do not take this as medical advice. What I basically learned how to do was recondition my nervous system, because from 21 through 22, my nerves were shot. Not only do migraines affect your nervous system, but the fear, the anxiety, the hypervigilance, all of that took a toll. I put myself in physical therapy. I took a walk every single day, and I would eventually start to get further and further into spaces where I felt like I could sustain it. And as I did that, I began to see a whole host of different symptoms come up. Symptoms that had been masked because of the heightened anxious response that my mind and body were going through. And I really didn't have any capacity to ask for help. It's not that I wasn't really being offered it from family and friends, it's that I just didn't know what I was asking for. Did I need someone to listen? Did I need someone to understand? I just wasn't really sure what I was seeking, so I didn't ask. And that made me unable to receive anything that was offered. And when I finally got myself into a space of daily functioning, I basically gave up on receiving help. And I learned how to be defensive of receiving it because I had become so conditioned to my own body. And I said, like, I know myself best, but I took it to the extreme where when I was offered help, I rejected it. And the prime example of that is this past Tuesday. So on Monday morning, I had a call with a doctor that I've seen like numerous times who really does a beautiful job of like listening. And she referred me out to a specific neurologist. And, you know, I send this guy a message and he calls me at 9 o'clock at night. And I was baffled. I literally was like, who does that, right? Like, why would a doctor who clearly has a busy schedule, I live in a major city, like, why would he do this? And this man spent 40 minutes on the phone with me, taking all of my medical history and listening. I then had a 3-hour doctor's appointment the next day with him. And this entire time, I sat there and I felt like I didn't want to give him anything. Like, yes, I gave him my medical history, but I had such a high skepticism that I was like, no, there's no way that he's going to figure this out. There's no way that he is going to determine what's wrong with me because no one's been able to do it before and I know myself better. And it was this really high stubbornness and an unwillingness to receive care. And when I tell you I fought him tooth and nail, I mean it. He finally said, why are you thwarting your own ability to solve this 2 to 2.5 year mystery? It's a good question, right? I am being offered the chance to solve what is going on, to get knowledge and a diagnosis of what's been up. And here I am saying no. And that's when I realized my defenses were way too high. I had become so protective over myself that I was unable to receive care and love because I always thought, if I'm being offered this, there has to be a catch.